It looks like some kind of aurora borealis.
Northern Lights. It does, it. Well, maybe that's it. We're on a polar region.
No, we couldn't be in the Arctic. We were in the submarine too long.
Well, Antarctica, then.
Now, Spindler said it was Egeria. Egeria, Egeria. You know, Peter, I'm sure that word means something. Wait a minute. In mythology, there's a Scandinavian god called Aegir. He's a malevolent, evil god whose kingdom lay beneath the sea.
You mean that's the ocean up there?
Yes, Peter. Egeria is under the sea.
And I am Aegir. Welcome. So these are your prisoners?
Yes, sir. When I found them on board the Siana, it was too late to put them off.
Wait a minute. You're Professor Ludwig Zeebreken.
This one has a good memory for faces.
Yes, I am Zeebreken.
But everybody thought you were killed at the end of the war.
Oh, they'll learn the truth soon enough. Who are you?
My name's Bannerman.
And the boy?
Peter Blake.
In Aegir, everyone serves a useful purpose. What can you do?
The boy is a good radio mechanic.
At the moment, I have no need of a radio mechanic.
With Professor Westfield as your prisoner, that's quite understandable.
You are well informed.
I do try to keep up on current developments, yes.
He's a journalist.
That's interesting. But what do you write?
I edit a monthly scientific magazine.
The next issue's going to be late.
I will give you an alternative. Write a series of articles on Aegir. My work here, the theories I've put into practice, the problems I've overcome. The time is coming when everyone must know all this.
Well, that's all very well for me, but what about Peter?
He can work in the garden.
Garden? Oh, where?
Aegir
Up there.
is self-contained, is a self-supporting community. We work and eat and sleep. We spend our leisure here. The food we eat comes from the sea. The power from these lights, even the air we breathe, comes from the sea.
Yes, but you must go to the surface sometime.
Yeah.
Why? What has Earth to offer me? Yes? Of course. Without a moment's delay. The standby air system didn't function this morning. The engineers have been checking it. The fault is outside.
Another fall of rock?
Possibly.
I'll have a look at it.
Send someone else.
But it's dangerous down there. I better do it myself.
You've had a hard voyage, Kurt. Get some rest first.
Very good, Professor.
What records did you buy in London? The new Klemperer class.
Of course.
Good. They'll include it in the concert tonight. Guard, you both start work in the morning. You on your research for the articles, and you, boy, report to Dr. Boyd in her laboratory. Meantime, go where you please. Except, of course, in certain areas which are indicated.
Yes, but...
But I don't think you'll try to escape. It would not only be foolish, but impossible. Take them to the barrack master, see that they arrange his quarters for them. You did a brilliant job, Kirk. Capturing the Siana under the noses of the British Navy. The second submarine, it makes us doubly effective.
When did the U-boat get here?
2 days ago.
And how is Professor Westfield?
He's truculent, but then they're all like that at first.
His sound wave transmitter receiver is a first-rate piece of equipment.
Yes. What is the range?
At present, about 150 miles.
You will have to do better than that. When I deliver my ultimatum, I want the whole world to hear.
No good, Peter. I can't relax and listen to music.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic.
Yes. Absolutely fantastic. I've never seen a place like this.
How does a place like this get built?
I don't know. You need unlimited money, I suppose, plus the best brains in the world. I don't know about the money, but Zeebreken's got some of the finest scientists ever sitting in that room right now. There's Cartwright, the Australian physicist. He disappeared 5 years ago. And Brontelli, I think his name is. And I also recognize the American ecologist, Lawton, and Skirling, the architect.
Why do they have to be kidnapped? I mean, surely Zeebreken would only have to tell them and they'd all come running.
Now, that's where this fantasy becomes a nightmare, Peter. For some reason or other, Zeebreken wants to keep Aegiria's secret from the rest of the world.
Why? It's a scientific miracle.
Yes, well, my guess is there's some purpose to Aegiria that goes beyond scientific interest.
Any ideas?
No, not yet. But you know, it must be very important. And otherwise, why steal the Siana? Why go to all the trouble of kidnapping Westfield, let alone all those other scientists?
Well, they don't seem to mind being here. I mean, they all looked happy enough tonight.
Yeah, well, maybe they're making the best of a bad job.
Yes, but why don't some of them try to escape, even if Zebrecken says it is impossible?
Yeah, but these men are dedicated to their work. They always have been. And I think Zebrecken plays on that dedication.
Well, he seems so harmless.
Yeah, so does a sea anemone until a fish swims too close to it. Now, there's something very sinister about Igeria. I think the sooner the world knows about it, the better.
Oh, we don't even know which ocean we're under.
Then we'll have to find out, won't we?
And?
And then do the impossible. Find the nearest exit and get out of here fast. Good morning, Dr. Boyd.
Good morning. What are you two doing here?
I've been told to report to you as garden help.
Oh, good. I'm short of staff. And what are you going to do, Mr. Bannerman?
Collect background material. Zebrecken wants me to do a series of articles on Igeria.
Excuse me, where does that door lead to?
Out onto the Gio.
Into the what?
The Guyot, Peter. It's a word used for an underwater volcano. G-U-Y-O-T. There's thousands of them in the Pacific. At one time in the world's history, millions of years ago, they were volcanic islands. And then as the earth cooled, there were eruptions and earthquakes and things like that. And the islands disappeared beneath the surface of the sea.
I see.
Then at a later stage of evolution, coral grew in the craters to flatten out the volcano and form a sort of plateau.
Coral, isn't that the shells and skeletons of billions of tiny animals?
Well, the coral itself is a very basic form of life, a polyps it's called, which keeps building on itself to form an island, a reef, or in this case, a plateau. The shells and skeletons you were talking of belong to the polyps which died in the process.
And then on top of the coral, a layer of sand accumulates.
And you use it for a garden?
That's right.
Well, what do you grow up there?
Oh, various types of seaweed.
Seaweed? Oh, but I thought none could grow more than a couple of 100 feet below the surface.
Yes, that's true. Then we must be more than 200 feet down.
We provide our own light. Artificial, of course, but it works.
But how deep is Igeria?
500 feet under the Pacific Ocean.
And how far from the nearest land?
Is that part of your research?
Would it be interesting to know?
1,000 miles, Mr. Bannerman. So I should forget it if I were you. Escape is impossible.
Have you tried?
No.
Perhaps you don't want to.
I wanted to when Svendler first brought me here, but then I found out what Professor Zebrecken was trying to do. Why not forget it?
Now, what did I tell you, Peter? Zebrecken's got some sort of hold over them.
He's a genius, Mr. Bannerman.
Yes, I know that. I read some of those theories he put forward in the past.
And no doubt you laughed at them like everyone else. Well, look around you. Was he right or wrong?
Quite obviously, he was right.
And he's brought all of us here to work with him in Igeria, to work as his associates. It's a great honor.
Even though you're a prisoner?
I love my work.
That doesn't answer my question.
All right. He has his reasons, and they're good ones.
He told you them then? What are they?
That is background material you'll have to get from him. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to a meeting. Peter, would you sweep the floor? And don't touch any of the equipment, will you?
Yes, all right. Well, she put you in your place.
Yes. I wonder what the brainwash is.
It's probably something Zebrecken tells them.
Or whatever it is, it's very effective, isn't it?
Mark, are we really on top of a volcano?
Yes, of course, right.
Extinct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like Tristan da Cunha. Go ahead and laugh, but I want to live. I want to get out of this place.
Well, a volcanic eruption would be one way of reaching the surface.
That's a little drastic, isn't it? Isn't there an easier way?
Yes. I think there is.
Sand?
And now might be a very good time to try.
Bannerman,
Yes?
the professor has asked me to show you around Igeria.
All right.
Where would you like to begin?
I think I'd like to see the plant which creates your main air supply.
Good. Come on in.
Oh, how clumsy of me. So sorry.
I haven't got all day, you know.
It's all right. I'll do that.
Oh, thank you, Peter.
Why sand?
This is where we extract oxygen from the seawater. Thousands of gallons passed through these extractors every hour. There should be a constant supply of oxygen circulating through Egeria.
I see. Well, what happens to the carbon dioxide?
We put it back in the water.
Well, completely integrated.
Of course, there are no telltale bubbles on the surface to give away Egeria's location.
Where was Egeria built?
During the war, as an underwater submarine plane for long-range U-boats.
Well, the idea being that they could come here to refuel.
And to do repairs.
Where did the money come from?
Benatis. But in gold bullion. So you see, when the war ended, Egeria's fortunes didn't crash. The professor decided to stay on here, expanding it into an underwater laboratory. Some of us agreed to work.
And those who didn't?
Left for submarine.
They remained very quiet about their little secret, haven't they?
Unfortunately, they never reached home.
Why not?
Perhaps. I don't know. No one does.
Not even Zebracken?
The extractors are driven by pumps, which in turn are driven by electricity.
No doubt you drill for your own oil.
It was discovered at the bottom of the Gio, yes, and the professor devised a method of drilling for it. This, as you can see, is the main control board. That operates the pumps.
Mm-hmm. What about that?
That's the standby air system.
Oh, yes, that's the one that's broken down, isn't it? Or has it been repaired already?
No, I'm going outside later.
Will it be a very long job?
That depends on the extent of the damage caused by the slide. Also, it's dangerous work with the current there.
Mm-hmm. What if something went wrong with the normal system while you were repairing the other?
It won't. This is all new equipment. Now, the electricity is generated by the difference, the temperature difference, between the water at this level and the water at the bottom of the trench over the edge of the Gio.
How deep is that?
35,542 feet. The temperature difference between the two levels is considerable. Down there, for instance, is 1 degree above freezing point.
Yes, and here?
10 degrees centigrade. Anything else you'd like to know?
No, I don't think so. Not at the moment, anyway.
Then I'll take you to the metal repair shop.
There. How's that?
Oh, fine, thank you. Why are they so heavy?
To keep you upright in the water. We find it more convenient to work that way.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what this is?
Yes, it's an aqualung for breathing underwater. Has compressed air in it.
At this depth, Peter, ordinary compressed air would be useless.
Oh, why?
You know about water pressure?
Deeper you go, greater it is?
After 100 feet or so, the pressure is so great that it changes the chemical reaction of your body to air.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You start to get too much nitrogen into your bloodstream.
Oh, that's called rapture of the deep, isn't it? You act as if you're drunk and do silly
The
things.
rapture of the deep is far more dangerous than that, Peter, because eventually you lose consciousness and then you die.
And the gas in there?
Well, that's perfectly safe.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Now, this is the mask, and these two tubes connect into the tanks through this, which is the supply valve.
Then in that case, the exhaust goes into the tanks. Well, why not into the water?
Because in this system, the used gas is chemically washed, purified, and recirculated.
Then there's no wastage.
Not even a single bubble.
I see. Well, can I try one on?
No, not that one. The supply valve sticks. I've got to have it adjusted.
What's that?
That's the alarm. Something's wrong.
All personnel close to their red alert stations. I repeat, all personnel close to their red alert stations.
Have you been assigned to an alert station?
No.
Then stay here. I won't be long. Stay here with Peter. I'll be back in a minute as soon as I've discovered what's up.
Right. Well, Peter,
What's happened?
this stuff's more effective than I thought.
Oh, what have you done?
Gummed up the works. I think we're going to be out of here sooner than they think.
What is it? What's happened?
A bearing on the main shaft of the extractor. It was running white hot. I had to shut down.
Will it take long to repair?
3 or 4 days. The engineers...
I don't care what they say. We can't wait that long. What about the standby air system?
I don't know. I was on my way out to look at that when this happened.
So you still don't know how serious it is?
No.
Well, hurry, cut. Without air, Egeria dies.
Yes, sir.
Wait. That equipment was almost new. Why should a bearing burn out so quickly?
I think I know.
Good. And don't go out on the Gio alone. Take someone with you.
I intend to.
Emergency plan C. I repeat, emergency plan C. Reports to main control in rotation.
Where's Dr. Boyd?
Closed up at the red alert station, sir, on the
Tell it-
second floor of the tower.
Tell her to report to me. I also want all the reports from every section of Egeria on the condition of the air, its purity factor, temperature, humidity, pressure, and all work in the submarine pen must cease at once.
Yes, sir. Attention, Dr. Boyd. Report immediately to Professor Z.
It's a proper flat one out.
Well, I'm not surprised. This place can't last very long without fresh air.
How long did you give it?
Oh, 12 hours, maybe 24 at a pinch. Depends how quickly the oxygen gets burned up.
Well, the way everyone's rushing around, I'd only give it 4.
Bannerman, put on an underwater suit. You're going to help me clear away some rocks.
Oh, now, just a minute. I may be a bit of a handicap. I've had no underwater experience. Well, you said yourself the current was very strong down there.
Do you want me to take him out there? Near that current? Because I will. It's either you or him.
No, of course not. I'll go.
What current are you talking about?
The one that runs down off the edge of Egeria. If you get caught in it, just sweat away.
You'll be working near it?
Yes.
Well, that's all very well for you. You're experienced.
All right, Pete, all
But
right.
he'll be risking his life.
He should have thought about that earlier.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Now, Mark, please let me go.
No, don't worry, Peter. I'm going to be all right. What do we have to do?
There's a shaft which runs from Egeria down through the edge of the Gio. There's a propeller on the edge of the shaft, and the whole thing can be moved out hydraulically into the current.
Well, and this has been blocked by a fall of rock.
That's what we'll find out. Now, if you want to help him, go to the main control room, tell the engineers to start up the hydraulic ram in 20 minutes' time, but tell them to do it carefully.
All right, off you go. Well, shall we get ready?
All personnel to remain at alert station, subject to further orders.
Yes, sir. Attention, all departments,
Yes.
attention.
You know what's happened?
The air supply is off.
A bearing in the main pumping station has burned out. How much aqualung gas do we have?
Enough for a month?
No, I don't mean for outside. Can it be used here?
Not for more than a couple of minutes. It's for use when the body's under pressure.
Yes, I know that. But you must adapt it to suit these conditions.
Well, I suppose the oxygen could be filtered out, but it would take time.
How long?
Oh, I can't say exactly, but several hours anyway, and I'm not sure the results will be worth it.
If you can give me enough oxygen to keep Aguirre alive for 1 extra hour, it will be worth it.
Very well, I'll start at once.
Engineers control.
Yes, Professor.
Tell the engineer to open up all the submarine hatches, and then tell them to start up the air recirculator motors. Every method of obtaining pure air for Aguirre must be exploited.
Yes, Professor.
If I'm wanted, I shall be in the pumping station.
Attention, all duty engineers, attention. Report immediately to submarine pens. Open hatches and start air recirculator motors. All personnel to continue to stand by at their present alert stations. What do you want?
Captain Spender's orders. You're to start up the hydraulic ram in 20 minutes' time. But you must be careful.
Is he going outside?
Yes.
Alone?
No. I wish he was.
Attention, all duty engineers.
The hatch is similar to a submarine escape hatch. We go inside, lock the door behind us, and open the escape cocks. When the compartment is flooded, we then go out through the Gio. There's a lot to be done. Come on, let's get started.
Svenla, why should I help you?
Bannerman, I can guess what's happened to that bearing. So if you and your friend value your life...
Peter had nothing to do with it.
He helped you?
That's not true.
It's my word against yours. All right, I'll make a deal with you. You help me now, and the boy's name won't be mentioned in my report, Chief Brecken. Put on that mask.
Can we talk to one another with these things on?
Yes, but the range is very short, and we must look directly at each other when we speak.
Mm-hmm. Very well.
Now, when we get outside, we go through the garden and down over the edge of the Gio. Be careful to stay close to the rock face if you value your life.
Yes. The current, I hadn't forgotten it.
course. What do you want me to do?
Is something the matter, Peter?
Spender's got Mark out there.
Mark?
Spender said he had to help him clear away the rock slide.
Away from the standby system?
Yes.
Well, Mark's done underwater work before, hasn't he?
No.
What?
Practically none.
Oh, well, he'll be all right. Spendler will look after him, don't worry. Now, come on. You can help me extract the oxygen from the aqualungs.
Why? What do you want to do that for?
To use here in Nigeria until the main air system is on again.
No, Anne, you mustn't.
Why not?
Because this is our one way of escaping from Agiria. If there's no air to breathe, everyone will have to go up to the surface. That's why Mark put sand in there.
Sand? I don't want to hear about it. Don't
But it's
tell
our
me.
only
Now,
chance.
listen. I'm very proud to work with Professor Zebrecken. Don't do anything that would force me to report you.
Well, if that's how you feel, Doctor, there's no more to be said.
I'm sorry, Peter.
So am I.
Careful. When you push or pull on a rock, you're just as liable to move as the rock unless you have a firm foothold.
Peter, where did you put the defective mask?
Down here. It's gone.
Either Mark or Spendler must be wearing it.
We'd better get out there. One of them will need help.
No, Peter, I'll go. You haven't had enough experience. Ring through to main control and ask them to send help.
There isn't time for that. Look, I'm dressed. I'm ready to go.
All right. But, Peter, remember, the current is very strong.
Spendler! Spendler! Help me. Keep away from edge. Peter! The current's carrying him down.